Atlantic Canada's first Seafood Industry Innovation Summit. Been great conversations that are happening, good collaboration across all 4 Atlantic provinces. David, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure, Alan. So my name is David McNally. I'm the founder and CEO of Agyle Intelligence. We're a digital transformation company based out of Prince Edward Island. We fired up in 2017. Myself, I've spent about 20 years in the digital productivity space. I've been fortunate to work with a number of hardware and software technology companies along the way. Identified a gap where automating the data collection from a manual process to get faster answers in automated reports to the decision makers quicker so they can respond to those critical events. And happy to be here.
So tell me now what your product or service looks like. What exactly does it look like?
Sure. So what we built with Agile is really we built a dashboard, a business intelligence brain, if you will. And what we're able to do is we're able to take data from disparate sources and be able to pull that in there to automate the alerts, notifications, reporting, trends, visualizations, all that great stuff that people want to see in this day and age, in order to meet compliance, in order to understand where their operations are at, in order to better track some of the data that's driving some of the profitability and eliminating some of the waste along the way. And the way we do that, Alan, is we actually complement that in a number of ways. One of the ways that we do it is we have a clipboard app that's available on any Android or Apple device. Users can download it, unlimited scalability across their operation. They can utilize our no-code form builder in order to bring any of their paper-based, manual-based processes onto that app, so they're driving information from anyone, anywhere, at any time, and automating the process along the way.
Sector specific, or are you agnostic at sector?
Agnostic, Alan, agnostic across the board. We work with a number of large and small operations. Our biggest client would be a couple $2 billion a year in annual revenue, one of the largest protein providers in Canada. All the way down to some guys that are doing a couple $100,000 in revenue. So we built that solution to be able to satisfy a number of different levels within the market, whether it's seafood, whether it's meat, poultry, or vegetables, fruits, you name it.
Information is power, right? And to have it at your fingertips and being able to make decisions off it is so vitally important, no matter how big or small you are.
Absolutely, Alan. You're right. And even outside of an operational level, with government, with organizational level, driving that information is even more important. We've been able to deliver some great solutions to some of our government partners. As an example, we've automated the entire lobster buying process on Prince Edward Island. So everybody who buys lobster on Prince Edward Island enters that catch-related information into our platform, streams it right to the department, so they have access to that economic impact. They can understand where there might be some gaps and areas where they have to address in order to make sure that the industry is getting what they need.
Wow, that's fantastic. So here you are at the Seafood Summit here in beautiful St. John's, Newfoundland.
First time up here, loving it.
Go on.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful place. So here you are. One of the things that they have a real big focus on here is, of course, digitization, right?
Yes.
How do they help their processors get into that digital world? You're already there.
Yes.
You must have a lot to offer to the conversation.
Yeah, it was great. Actually, I just finished doing a little seminar there around traceability with regards to how some of our customers utilize our product to make sure that they're meeting MSC, Marine Stewardship Council traceability requirements, meeting FDA requirements, which is coming down the pipeline here for the seafood industry, I believe in 2026. And using that information as well for operational improvements, identifying areas where they can reduce their waste, recapture some of those profits and put it back in. So yeah, we've been very fortunate to have a number of customers in the seafood space and beyond that, but it's been really fun.
So you tapped onto another theme of the conference here, which of course is that kind of how do people find value in what was once a waste product?
Absolutely, yeah, that's a big topic here, isn't it? Love seeing that. The money, the profit, if you will, I was once told, is in the waste. So anytime that you can identify where that waste is happening, that you can claw back some of the process around why that waste is happening and improve upon it, it can make a huge difference to a bottom line. You know, outside of seafood, but specifically in the meat space, we've been fortunate to work with a large poultry producer in Atlantic Canada, where we've been able to save them, you know, combined with some other processes, Alan, don't get me wrong here, right? There's a lot that goes along with this.
Right.
But we've been a key contributor to them being able to recapture almost $10 million in waste savings since 2017.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's fantastic, yeah, it sure is.
Automation, another big thing, again, right? Data driven. You need you need the information to make decisions.
That's right.
Drive your return on investment. You're helping in the automation space.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a lot of our customers who do use full automation, they complement that with Agile in order to help them collect some of the data around that. Because what we find, and this is really why I built Agile, was that gap, where it didn't matter if I walked into a Fortune 500 company, was fully automated in their process, somebody's still walking around with a pen and paper doing checks on that equipment, right? So we're able to help them with that side, but we're also very fortunate that we've got a great partnership with some equipment providers up in Ontario and around the world who are providing further automation to the industry, and we're helping them with the processes as well.
The graphic user interface on a tool like this has got to be vitally important. Otherwise, people just say, I'm not bothered with this. Tell me about how you take that to the level that makes it easy for people to use.
Well, you know, one thing that we identified, Alan, was that when you roll out a solution like this, when you go into this digital space, it's great if you have the executives who are on board and the executives are saying, right, this is what we need and this is why we need it. But really, you got to focus on that user level, because it's the people who are entering the data. If you don't have them engaged, and if the solution is cumbersome at that level, it's going to fall down. Right. So we were fortunate to have some real early adopters in our solution, and when we rolled out, we focused very heavily for a number of years on that user experience. So driving that user experience, making sure that the way that they're handling the system, the way that they're entering data into the system, and that's getting translated at the executive level into reporting, we pay very close attention to that to make it as easy for them as possible. What that all drives? Visualizations, key performance indicators, trends right on the dashboard, or have them emailed to you at any point in time.
So tell me, what would an ideal client look like for you? So if, you know, somebody's out there listening saying, do I fit that model? Because I need to make some decisions. What does an ideal client look like?
Sure. Well, with our solution, there's a broad range, as I say. You know, we're dealing with billion-dollar companies all the way down to a couple $100,000 companies, right? So there's a wide range of ideal clients that we might take. But to be general, we love somebody who's got a lean mindset, right? Somebody who's got a continuous improvement thought process where they're looking to drive those improvements. They understand that just because they did it this way yesterday doesn't mean they have to do it this way tomorrow. So that's one of the key indicators for us, is if a company has a lean mindset, and they're not just looking to, you know, go digital for the sake of going digital. Sometimes those projects can be a little bit challenging, but if they have a lean mindset with a great culture, right? Culture really drives it as well. It's one thing to think you're lean, it's another thing to be able to identify that this operation is lean based upon the culture and the feedback you're getting from the team.
You know, you picked up on a really a good term there, and that is continuous improvement.
Yes.
That's got to be front and center in your mind all the time, too, to make the experience even better.
Always, always. We're continuously improving our product every day, right? Even today, as I'm at this conference, we're getting feedback, we're relaying with the team, we're going back and forth with the customer, making sure that we're always continually improving our process and our product. And that really is driven by the customer, right? All the solutions, all the features in Agile were really driven by industry, driven by the customer. I don't think there's any feature in Agile where it was me and the developer team and our other team sitting around, you know, writing stuff down on a whiteboard because we thought it was cool to develop, right? Everything is customer feedback driven.
Yeah, it's not there just for the sake of it being there.
Exactly.
It solves a problem.
That's right. It's solving a problem. And that's, you know, that's where we get those results, right? And that also dovetails back into that user experience. We got to solve the problems at that user level because that's the data that the executives need to make good decisions and move things forward.
Summit being good for you, the conference being
fantastic,
good?
Fantastic, having a great time. They did a really good job, especially for a first run, right? You know, they've done a great job here, having a great time.
And Newfoundland being good to you so far?
Yeah, Newfoundland's been pretty good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, can't complain about that. Yeah,
that's great.
Happy to finally get here and check that box.
Listen, it's been great to have you on the show. It's great to be in conversation. What a wonderful solution you have.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you. All the best.